What's going on, my Jack brother? Coach Scott here, and today we're going to talk about how to stay lean while building muscle, keeping your body in an anabolic state year-round by taking advantage of mini cuts. It all begins with a smart approach to building muscle. I like to advise my clients not to gain more fat than they are muscle each and every month. So if you're gaining 2 pounds per month, you want to make sure that at least 1 pound is muscle and not more than 1 pound is coming from fat. If you're gaining 1 pound of muscle to 2 pounds of fat, you're just creating a lot of unnecessary work for you down the road. You can't force feed muscle gains. Now, if you want to give yourself the best chance to build muscle, you want to make sure you are in a calorie surplus, but it doesn't have to be a massive calorie surplus. If you're gaining even just a bit of fat, it is a sign that you are providing your body with an adequate amount of calories to support the muscle building process. Gaining any fat in excess of that isn't going to lead to any extra muscle gains. You've already provided your body with enough fuel to support the muscle gains. Anything that is beyond that is going to get stored as fat. So if you're gaining some fat, that's a great sign. You're in a surplus. More fat doesn't equal more muscle. So now I'm sure you're wondering, what is an adequate amount of calories to support the muscle building process, give you the best chance at building muscle, where you're going to gain some fat in the process, but not any unnecessary fat throughout the process. So you stay lean while building muscle. For beginners, you're looking at about a 300 calorie surplus for most people. Like, you're talking like the average bro, like 180 pounds or so. If you're an intermediate lifter, about 2 years of lifting experience under your belt, 200 calories should be sufficient. Again, if you're about like a 180 pound bro. And if you are an advanced lifter, more than 4 or 5 years of hard lifting under your belt, you're only looking at about 100 calorie surplus to ensure that you are, again, not gaining any more than like that 1-to-1 ratio of muscle to fat in that process. So to determine what your surplus is, first we need to know your maintenance level calories. I'll include a link down below to the calculator on my website where you're going to enter your age, your height, your weight, your activity level. That's going to give you your TDEE, your total daily energy expenditure. That's approximately how many calories you would consume each and every day to maintain your weight. It's more of a range. Like, maintenance is more of a range. It's never going to be exactly the same each and every day. This is just to give you a starting point, a good estimate of what you would consume to maintain your weight. So if you are an advanced lifter like myself, you would be just adding 100 calories to that. If you've only been lifting for like 2 to 3 years, you would add 200 calories to that. If you're like just starting out of the gates here, you could add 300 calories to that and see how your body responds and measure your progress as you're going along. And it's really, really important that just because you're in a muscle building phase isn't a free for all. It's not like, oh, I can eat whatever the hell I want. I highly encourage you to focus on consuming high quality, nutrient rich foods most of the time. We're talking like 90, I prefer like 95% of the time eating whole, natural, nutrient rich foods, because it's going to fuel your muscle building process. It's going to provide you with the nutrients, the micronutrients, the macronutrients to really make the most out of your training and this lifestyle to really give you the best chance to build muscle. You want to fuel this lifestyle. You want to perform your best. You want to feel your best. Give yourself that best chance of building muscle. So don't go stuffing your face with a bunch of crap and a bunch of garbage just because you're in muscle building mode. Really, like, throughout the year, whether you're building muscle, maintaining your weight, or in a fat loss phase, a mini cut, I like to keep your nutrition exactly the same. It's just going to be the portion sizes, the amount of food that you're consuming that is going to change. Now, your muscle building phase should last at least 4 months, preferably like 4 to 6 months of focused building effort. If you feel the need to do a mini cut prior to 4 months, you definitely were too aggressive with your calorie surplus there and gained more than that 1-to-1 ratio. You want to give yourself that best chance of building muscle and stay in that calorie surplus for at least 4 months at a time there, preferably upwards of 6 months, and then it's time for your mini cut. Mini cuts are a great way to keep the fat gains in check, keep you looking and feeling athletic throughout this process of building your physique. You're basically feeling your best and performing your best all the freaking time. So a mini cut should last no more than 2 to 6 weeks, especially if you took a smart approach to the muscle building process there. 2 is like the bare bones minimum. Like, if you're really, maybe if it was only 2 weeks after a 4 to 6 week muscle building phase, maybe you weren't aggressive enough with your calorie surplus. You could probably push a little bit more if you only needed 2 weeks there. I think 4 weeks is a nice sweet spot to work in there. After 4 to 6 months of building, 4 weeks of cutting is fantastic. Now I see some coaches suggest that a mini cut is a super aggressive approach to fat loss that is vastly different from a typical fat loss phase or cutting phase. I personally don't see it that way. Typical recommendations for a cutting phase would be for you to lose between 0.5 and 1% of your total body weight per week. So if you're a 200-pound bro, you'd be looking at losing between 1 and 2 pounds per week. That is so you can preserve muscle mass in the process, making sure that most of that weight loss is coming from fat, not any of your lean muscle tissue there. The recommendations for a mini cut are between 0.5 and 1.25. So instead of 0.5 to 1% of your total body weight, you're looking at 0.5 upwards of 1.25% of your total body weight per week. So now you're looking at, if you're a 200-pound bro, between 1 pound and 2.5 pounds. So it's only like a half a pound extra per week, and it would only be during the short term. So it's not like it's like crazy aggressive, more than a normal diet, but it is a little bit more so. And I personally don't like to push it beyond that 1% of your total body weight loss per week. I just really want to make sure that you are preserving a muscle mass in this process. Even though it is short term, that's why they say it can be a little bit more aggressive, because it's just a short term diet here. You're less likely to lose muscle mass in that process. I still like to keep it between that 0.5 and that 1% of your total body weight per week. Now, to achieve that goal, what you're looking at, again, we'll want to recalculate your maintenance level calories, because now you've gained a few pounds during that muscle building process. So once again, the calculator down below, enter your age, your height, your weight, your activity level, give your TDEE, your new TDE there. And from there, we're going to create a calorie deficit. So if on average, a general rule of thumb, if you want to lose 1 pound per week, you would subtract 500 calories from that. You want to lose 1.5 pounds, 750 calories from that. 2 pounds, 1,000 calories from that. If you want to lose, again, 2.5 pounds per week, so if you're a 200-pound bro and you want to push that envelope of 1.25% of your body weight per week, you'd have to subtract 1,250 calories from your maintenance level calories, from your TDEE each and every day in order to achieve that goal. It's quite a bit of calories to subtract from there. Quite aggressive, but again, it's only for the short term. Now, calories are what is the most important factor when it comes to the fat loss process, but to really give yourself the best chance of preserving muscle mass, I like to keep your protein intake to around 1.2 grams per pound body weight. You can even push it upwards like 1.5 grams per pound body weight if you find it easy to get protein into your diet, you find it more satiating, you enjoy it. But at least like that 1.2 grams per pound body weight is going to be a great place to start. 0.3 grams per pound body weight for fat, and the rest is going to come from carbs. And once again, I highly encourage you to focus on consuming whole, natural, quality, nutrient-rich foods. You're gonna find that it's going to satiate you more. When you're looking at being more flexible with your diet, including a lot more of your favorite treats, those tend to be higher in calories and less satiating. You're gonna find yourself, although it's satisfying your taste buds, it's not gonna satisfy your stomach, and you're gonna find yourself feeling more hungry throughout the day. So I really highly recommend that you focus on quality, nutrient-rich foods during this mini cut. Again, it is for the short term. I think anybody can do anything for 2 to 6 weeks. Even a 4-week period. When I did my last mini cut last year, for the whole 28 days, I consumed nothing but whole, natural, nutrient-rich foods. I didn't feel the desire to have any of my favorite treats during that time. So no processed foods during that time. It was nothing but whole, natural, nutrient-rich foods. It didn't faze me one bit during that 28 days. It was only 28 days. And my energy levels were through the roof that entire time. My performance, I was hitting personal bests with my training sessions during that time, because I was consuming high quality nutrient-rich foods that were satisfying me, as I was getting the micronutrients my body needed. I was getting an adequate amount of all the macronutrients I needed. My stomach felt satiated. Just the energy levels, again, like I said, through the roof. So I just continued hitting personal bests while in that 4-week mini cut. And when I'm in a mini cut, my entire lifestyle and training stays the same. It's just the only thing that changes for me is the quantity of food that I'm consuming. I still enjoy performing the same amount of volume. I know some people like to reduce their volume. Now, if you're aiming for that 1.25% of your body weight loss per week, and you're going to be doing that for 6 weeks, I can see like towards the end, like those last 2 weeks may be a challenge. You may be feeling a little bit depleted at that point. But if you're keeping it between the 0.5 and the 1% of your total body weight per week, and you're consuming mostly whole, natural, nutrient-rich foods, you should be able to sustain your training. You should be able to train with high volume with relative ease during a mini cut there. So I keep all that same. I still walk my dog twice a day. I do all my fun activities, go get out paddle boarding, just whatever, play hockey. Like, I do everything the same. Nothing changes. I keep my sleep-wake schedule exactly the same. Sleep becomes even more important when you are in a mini cut. I find it really helps sustain your appetite, keeps your hunger in check, keeps your mood elevated, and again, provides you with the energy to perform your best and feel your best throughout the day. There's a boatload of advantages of following this type of approach to building muscle and losing fat, where you're spending 4 to 6 months in a muscle building phase in a gentle calorie surplus, giving yourself the best chance to build muscle, and then only needing to spend 2 to 6 weeks dieting. Like I said, it keeps you in an anabolic state. You're not dieting so long where your testosterone levels are going to be in the tank, that you're running the risk of losing muscle mass. Plus, you don't get that diet fatigue as well. Like a 12-week fat loss phase, it can be a challenge towards the end, especially if it happens to be a time of year where you're facing a lot of different social events, whether it's during certain holidays or birthdays, reunions, vacations. Like 12 weeks, a lot can happen during that time. A lot of different temptations and challenges that you need to overcome. Whereas like 2 to 6 weeks, chances are you're not going to be facing too many events or challenges during that time. And knowing that it's only 2 to 6 weeks, it makes it easier to kind of be responsible during that time, keep things in check during that time. And as I mentioned earlier, it keeps you looking and feeling athletic year round, whether in muscle building mode or in fat loss mode. When you're in a 12-week diet, by the end, it's pretty exhausting. Your training isn't at the same level it was at the beginning of a cutting phase. Whereas with a 2 to 6 week mini cut, if you're doing it not being on the aggressive end, like above that 1% of your total body weight loss per week, if you're between that 0.5 and that 1%, you should be able to sustain your energy and your performance throughout that training period. And when you're building muscle and you're in that calorie surplus, you never get to that point where you're looking at yourself and going, that's my 6-pack has turned into a keg now. Usually it goes from a 6-pack to a 4-pack where you look full, you look strong, you look athletic, you look lean, you look healthy, vibrant, energized, and then you just trim that little bit of fat that you gain back, get back to the 6-pack. So you're always kind of going back and forth between a 6-pack and a 4-pack, if that's what you want. It may be a 4-pack and a 2-pack for you, but it's never going to be a 6-pack and a keg where you drastically feel different. You feel uncomfortable in your clothes. You feel full, bloated, like you bend down to tie your shoes and you got a deep breath to go do that there. So you're never going to get to that point. It's going to be more, it's more of a lifestyle approach. It's more sustained. I really find it ideal for intermediate and advanced lifters. When muscle building, that process starts to slow down a little bit more. The muscle gains come at a slower rate. It's kind of nice to stay within a good sweet spot where you're always feeling your best and never depriving yourself for extended periods of time. So those are the general guidelines of how to stay lean while building muscle and how to structure your mini cut as well. If you want to see the exact blueprint that I personally follow myself, if you want to see 28 days of every meal that went in my mouth, you want to see the exact workout plan I followed, my exact overall lifestyle, my thoughts throughout the process, I'll include a link down below to the 4-week mini cut that I went through, and I highly recommend it. It was a fun process. Again, like I said, it's my go-to blueprint. So if you want to completely take the guesswork out of it, I'll include a link down below that for you. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. More than anything, I would love to hear from you down in the comment section below. Do you incorporate mini cuts into your overall yearly training plan, your overall strategy for building muscle while staying nice and lean in that process? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you know a fellow bro who'd benefit from watching today's video, please do me a favor and share it with them. And before you go, don't forget to download your free guide, Jacked After 40. Have yourself an amazing day. Catch you in the next video.